Major builders are going under receivership as the market takes a turn and builders fail to fulfill and complete their projects. Now, this shouldn't be a shock as builders are also failing to meet their financing requirements due to rise in interest rates, decline in sales, and sky-high interest payments. Some major builders that went into receivership are Mizrahi Developments, the developer behind the One Condos at Yonge and Bloor, Vandyk Properties, the developers behind Grand Central Mimico and Lakeview DXC Club in Mississauga, as well as Elevate Condominiums in Kitchener, developed by Pimata Hospitality Inc. If you're new to this channel, my name is Sid Sir from Team Sir Real Estate. I talk all things real estate on this channel, so please consider subscribing if you find some value. So what is receivership? A receivership takes place when a debtor, in this case a developer, fails to make their loan payments. A receiver is a third party appointed by a court through a court order or by a secured creditor to take control of the property and manage the project moving forward, whether that be liquidating the assets to recover the debt or to oversee the project's completion. Now, the receiver, based on the creditor's request, can either sell the assets and recover the loan, in which case the purchasers would receive their deposits back, or they can continue to see the project to its completion by properly managing it. So let's get into the interesting stuff. The super fancy condo and retail building at Yonge and Bloor, meant to be the tallest in Canada at 85 stories, is in deep financial trouble. Some of you may know it. It's called The One, and it's now under new management because of construction delays and a massive $1.6 billion in debt. Now, here's the scoop. The One by Sam Mizrahi and Jenny Coco was supposed to be done and finished by December of 2022, roughly costing about $1.4 billion. But it's only up to the 40th floor so far, and it's expected to cost an additional $600 million more than planned. Now, the lenders in this case got worried because the developers weren't paying their debts, so they took control and put it in receivership under Alvarez and Marcel Canada Inc. and are now in charge to set and receive another $315 million to keep building it. Now, based on the receiver's request, Mizrahi will still be the general contractor of the project. Now, here's the kicker. Apple was going to have their flagship store on the main floor, and they've now backed out. So the project has lost its main tenant and there are no new replacements to take their place. Mizrahi Development said they had some issues, but now they're getting things back on track. They're happy that the court picked a receiver and that Mizrahi will still lead the way. Now, according to them, the project faced problems like COVID-19 issues, supply chain troubles, and unexpected work stoppages. The receivership is meant to fix things, keep building, get more money, and figure out the best way to make the One a finished project as promised. They're also checking to see if previous buyers still want their condos. And as of August 31st, 2023, there are still 70 unsold units. So let's see how the One bounces back. By the way, having unsold units by the end of a project is not surprising. Most developers will sell typically 90 to 95% until the development's almost finished, and they still have some inventory which they tend to sell at market values, which is where they really make a majority of their money. So if Mizrahi does decide to give the buyers the option to back out of their purchase, and in which case they will have their deposits returned, they'll just go ahead and charge market prices or today's prices for those units, which can be hundreds of thousands of dollars more than what the original buyers had paid because the project started selling back in 2017. So this would actually work out in the developer's favor. Similarly, Vandyk Properties, also a big developer, is facing some serious financial trouble themselves. The lenders in this case are Kingset Mortgage Corporation and Door Capital Corporation. They're trying to recover over $203 million from Vandyk due to issues with several development projects. These projects include Uptowns and Heart Lake in Brampton, the Ravine and Lakeview DXC Club in Mississauga, and Grand Central Mimico in South Etobicoke. The lenders obviously provided funds to fund these projects, and Vandyk owes each Kingset Mortgage and Door Capital $169 million and $34 million each, respectively. Problems include alleged cost overruns, misuse of funds, and failure to make necessary payments. Despite sending letters in September demanding payment, Vandyk has not responded to the lenders. Now, the lenders no longer trust Vandyk to handle its responsibilities and complete the developments as planned. The 5 projects were expected to offer 1,757 homes, including detached homes, townhomes, and condos. However, only 830 homes have been sold so far, and construction delays have been reported for years. In particular, Uptown's townhouse community near Turnberry Golf Course faced construction delays, and the Heart Lake project is involved in another lawsuit regarding a $6 million fee. Grand Central Mimico, which halted construction, has had 3 liens seeking over $800,000 for unpaid work. Kingset and Doors claims doesn't cover other 2 Vandyk projects facing separate claims for unpaid work. Backyard Condos owe over $12 million to contractors, and the Buckingham project has over $300 in unpaid work. Rumors about Vandyk's financial issues have been circulating for weeks, especially after the company tried to sell assets earlier this year. And then you have Elevate Condominiums in Kitchener, which ran into financial trouble and is now in the hands of a receiver as well. They couldn't pay back loans totaling more than $64 million. The project, with 4 towers under construction, faced issues similar to the other 2 projects like slow sales, increasing costs, and higher interest rates. People in the area also noticed that Elevate Condos was taking a long time to build, and there were questions about why it was delayed. The first tower, with 177 units, was being built, and all units from phases 2 and 3 were already sold. Financial problems started in May 2022 when the developer spent money on later phases without securing enough funding. By December of that year, construction liens were filed against the property. The developer missed payments to lenders and even failed to pay municipal taxes. Things got worse and construction stopped in July of 2023. Many contractors left the site and several liens were registered. The incomplete tower is now 80% done, but it's not protected from water, which could cause serious damage with winter coming. The site also has a giant hole now where work began for the other 3 towers. So with all these projects being canceled, and trust me, there will be more to come in the coming months and in 2024, this is going to be a huge cause for concern for future supply in this province and all of Canada. With immigration and population growth both on the rise and housing completions behind target every year, this is not looking good for the future of housing and housing supply in Canada. Let me know in the comments whether you feel more projects will be going underwater. I'm curious to hear your thoughts. Now, if you found some value in this video, please consider subscribing and, of course, hit that like button. Thanks for watching. Take care.